Crimea is shaking. A powerful strike changes everything. Russia feels growing pressure. The United States sends shockwaves across the world. What happened in Crimea? Why is this moment so important? And what comes next? Stay with us. This story could reshape the conflict. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing a major development that has captured global attention. Crimea has once again become the center of intense focus. Reports suggest a powerful strike has shaken key positions. This event is not isolated. It connects to a wider pattern of pressure building around Russia. The situation is tense. The language used by officials is cautious, yet the message is clear. Something important is unfolding. Crimea holds deep strategic value. Control of this region affects supply routes, naval power, and regional influence. Any strike in this area sends a strong signal. It forces reactions. It raises questions. Who planned it? What was targeted? And why now? These questions dominate global discussions. At the same time, the United States has made moves that many analysts describe as shockwaves. These are not always direct actions. Sometimes they are statements. Sometimes they are strategic decisions. But their impact travels fast. Allies listen closely. Rivals respond carefully. This moment matters because it reflects a shift. Pressure is not just military. It is political. It is economic. It is psychological. Russia faces multiple challenges at once. Crimea is where many of these pressures meet. In this video, we will break everything down, step by step, calmly, clearly, so you understand what is happening and why it matters now. The strike that reportedly hit Crimea has drawn attention because of its timing and location. Timing matters in conflicts. This moment comes amid rising tensions and ongoing strategic adjustments. Crimea is not just land. It is a symbol. It represents control, influence, and long-term goals. Any impact there carries weight beyond physical damage. Sources describe the strike as powerful, but details remain limited. This is common in such situations. Information moves slowly. Claims are checked. Narratives compete. What matters is not just what happened, but how it is perceived. Perception shapes responses. It shapes next moves. Military analysts note that strikes in Crimea often aim to disrupt logistics. Supply lines are critical. Ports, airfields, and transport routes keep operations running. Even limited disruption can create wider effects. It forces relocations. It increases costs. It creates uncertainty. Russia's response so far has been measured. Official statements emphasize control and stability. This tone is deliberate. It aims to reassure domestic audiences and deter further actions. However, behind the scenes, adjustments are likely underway. Defense systems are reviewed. Patrols are increased. The wider world is watching closely. Allies of Ukraine see signals of momentum. Others see risk of escalation. This balance is fragile. One move can shift it. Crimea remains a focal point because actions there resonate far beyond the peninsula itself. Russia under pressure is not a new phrase, but its meaning evolves. Pressure today comes from multiple directions. Military challenges are one part. Economic strain is another. Diplomatic isolation also plays a role. When these factors align, their impact multiplies. In Crimea, pressure is especially sensitive. The region requires constant resources to maintain control and security. Infrastructure must be protected. Forces must be supplied. Public confidence must be maintained. Any sign of vulnerability can have psychological effects. International reactions add another layer. Statements from foreign governments are carefully worded. Support is expressed. Warnings are issued. Each sentence is designed to signal intent without crossing red lines. This is modern conflict communication. Economic factors cannot be ignored. Sanctions and trade restrictions shape strategic choices. They influence budgets. They affect production. Over time, they limit flexibility. When combined with military pressure, they force difficult decisions. Public perception also matters. Information flows fast. Social media amplifies events. Images and headlines travel worldwide within minutes. This shapes how people understand the conflict. Governments must respond not only on the ground, but in the information space. Russia's leadership must balance strength with caution. Too strong a response risks escalation. Too weak a response invites further pressure. Crimea sits at the center of this balance. Every development there tests strategy, resolve, and adaptability. The role of the United States is closely examined in moments like this. Even indirect actions can have significant effects. Statements from U.S. officials are analyzed line by line. Policy shifts are watched carefully. Support packages send clear signals. When people say the U.S. sends shockwaves, they often mean influence rather than force. Diplomatic backing strengthens allies. Intelligence sharing improves coordination. Economic measures reinforce pressure. Together, these actions shape the strategic environment. In this case, U.S. messaging has emphasized support and vigilance. The language avoids escalation, but it is firm. This balance is intentional. It reassures partners while limiting direct confrontation. Allies respond in kind. Coordination increases. Joint planning becomes more active. This collective approach amplifies impact. It shows unity. It reduces uncertainty among partners. For Russia, this environment narrows options. Decisions must consider not just one opponent, but a network of aligned actors. This changes calculations. It raises stakes. The global audience also reacts. Markets adjust. Analysts publish assessments. Media coverage intensifies. Each reaction feeds into the overall pressure dynamic. The United States understands this effect well. Influence is exercised through presence, policy, and partnership. In the context of Crimea, these shockwaves shape expectations about what comes next and how far each side is willing to go. Crimea's strategic importance explains why it remains central to the conflict narrative. Geography plays a key role. Access to the Black Sea provides naval advantages. Control of airspace influences regional security. These factors make the region invaluable. Any strike there carries symbolic meaning. It challenges assumptions of safety. It tests defensive systems. Even if damage is limited, the message is powerful. No area is completely beyond reach. This affects planning. Resources must be diverted to protection. Redundancies must be created. This increases operational strain. Over time, such strain reduces efficiency. Civil considerations also matter. Maintaining daily life under tension is difficult. Infrastructure resilience becomes critical. Public communication must manage fear and expectations. These factors influence stability. International law and narratives add complexity. Competing claims shape diplomatic debates. Each side frames events differently. These narratives influence global opinion and policy choices. Crimea thus becomes more than a battlefield. It becomes a focal point for strategy, symbolism, and signaling. Actions there are interpreted as indicators of broader trends. Understanding this context helps explain why news from Crimea travels fast and hits hard. It is not just about one strike. It is about what that strike represents within a much larger and ongoing struggle. Information control is a crucial element of modern conflict. What is released? What is withheld? Timing matters. In the case of Crimea, information moves through many channels. Official statements, independent reports, social media posts. Each source carries its own perspective. Verification takes time. During this gap, speculation grows. This can amplify fear or optimism depending on narratives. Governments attempt to guide interpretation through messaging. For audiences, this creates confusion. Conflicting reports compete for attention. Clear facts are hard to establish quickly. This is why careful analysis is important. Visual imagery has strong impact. Satellite images, short clips, maps. These tools shape understanding. Even limited visuals can influence global perception. The psychological dimension cannot be ignored. Perceived momentum matters. Confidence matters. Doubt matters. A single event can shift morale on both sides. In this environment, calm communication is a strategic choice. Overreaction can escalate tensions. Underreaction can signal weakness. Balancing this is difficult. Crimea's situation highlights these challenges. Every update is scrutinized. Every silence is questioned. This constant attention adds pressure to decision makers. Understanding the information landscape helps explain why reactions sometimes seem delayed or cautious. It is not indecision. It is calculation in a highly sensitive and visible arena. Military analysts often focus on patterns rather than single events. In Crimea, recent developments are viewed as part of a broader trend. Increased activity, improved capabilities, adjusted tactics. These patterns suggest adaptation on all sides. Defense systems evolve. Detection improves. Countermeasures are tested. This ongoing adjustment is a hallmark of prolonged conflict. Each side learns from each encounter. Logistics remain a key factor. Sustaining operations over time requires stable supply chains. Disruptions force change. They increase costs. They reduce flexibility. Training and readiness also matter. Forces must remain alert. Fatigue becomes an issue. Rotation schedules are stressed. These human factors influence effectiveness. Strategic patience is tested. Long conflicts demand endurance. Public support must be maintained. International backing must be sustained. Crimea's role within this framework is central. It is both a target and a symbol. Success or failure there resonates widely. Analysts caution against overinterpreting single strikes. However, they also note cumulative effects. Small actions add up. Over time, they reshape the strategic landscape. This perspective helps explain measured responses. It also explains persistent attention. Crimea is not about one night or one headline. It is about long-term positioning and influence. Global reactions to events in Crimea reveal broader concerns about stability. Regional actors worry about spillover. International institutions monitor risks. Energy markets watch closely. Uncertainty affects planning. Businesses delay decisions. Governments review contingency plans. This ripple effect shows how interconnected modern systems are. Diplomatic channels remain active. Even during tension, communication continues. This helps manage risk. It provides off-ramps. It reduces chances of misunderstanding. Public discourse reflects anxiety and fatigue. Conflicts that last year strain attention and empathy. New developments briefly refocus interest. Then attention shifts again. Media framing plays a role. Headlines emphasize drama or restraint. This shapes perception. Balanced reporting is essential but challenging. For policymakers, this environment demands clarity. Objectives must be realistic. Messaging must be consistent. Flexibility must be preserved. Crimea's situation underscores these challenges. It is a reminder that regional events can have global consequences. Understanding these connections helps viewers place headlines in context. It reduces fear. It improves awareness. As developments continue, maintaining perspective is important. Not every event signals immediate change, but each contributes to an evolving picture that deserves careful attention. Looking ahead, several scenarios are discussed by experts. Increased defensive measures, continued pressure, diplomatic efforts. None are certain. Outcomes depend on choices made now. Escalation is one risk. It brings costs and uncertainty. De-escalation is another path, but it requires compromise and trust. These are difficult in high-tension environments. External actors influence these paths. Support can stabilize. It can also embolden. Managing this balance is complex. Domestic considerations shape decisions as well. Public opinion matters. Economic conditions matter. Leadership priorities matter. Crimea remains a testing ground for these dynamics. Actions there will be closely monitored. Responses will be calibrated. Time is a critical factor. Prolonged pressure changes calculations. Short-term resilience may not translate into long-term sustainability. Analysts emphasize adaptability. Rigid strategies fail in evolving situations. Learning and adjustment are key. For observers, patience is required. Clear outcomes rarely emerge quickly. Understanding grows over time. This perspective encourages informed viewing rather than reactive judgment. It highlights the importance of context and continuity when following complex international developments like those unfolding around Crimea. As we conclude, it is clear that Crimea's recent developments carry significant weight. A powerful strike is not just an isolated incident. It is part of a broader strategic environment shaped by pressure, signaling, and response. Russia faces challenges that extend beyond the battlefield. Economic, diplomatic, and informational factors interact. These layers create complexity. They demand careful management. The United States and its partners influence this environment through policy and presence. Their actions send signals that resonate globally. These shockwaves shape expectations and planning. For audiences, understanding these dynamics is essential. Headlines capture attention, but deeper analysis provides clarity. Context helps separate noise from meaning. Crimea will likely remain in focus. Its strategic value ensures continued attention. Developments there will continue to influence regional and global discussions. Staying informed requires reliable sources and thoughtful consideration. Avoiding extremes helps maintain perspective. We will continue to monitor the situation closely. Our goal is to explain, not inflame. To inform, not overwhelm. Thank you for watching and listening. Your engagement supports balanced discussion and informed awareness in a rapidly changing world. If you found this breakdown helpful, like the video, share it with others. Subscribe to the channel for clear updates. And comment below with your thoughts.